Howdy, Legendary Void here, and today we are doing something new. We are going to do a deck tech on a Dreadwing deck that I have had a lot of fun playing with recently. So yeah, let's get right into it. So, of course, our character is going to be Blackwing. Now, Blackwing is one of the pieces that combines into Dreadwing. He is the top half. And then, in one form, he has no effects. 5 attack, 12 health, 1 defense. And then the other form, 5 attack, 12 health, no defense. Which is a bit of a pain sometimes, but he is more of the offensive half of Dreadwing. And then at the end of the turn, if you have Dreadwind Air Defense, which is the other half, in bot mode on the battlefield or the KO area, you can scrap 3 cards from your hand, and if you do, combine Dreadwing and Blackwing into Dreadwind. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Dreadwind and Blackwing into Dreadwing Sky Destroyer. Basically, because of how this sort of pans out with how the game works, you can essentially combine to form Dreadwing on your second turn, if you're playing things right. But that's crazy, being able to combine into a massive, basically destroyer of a card with 7 attack and 24 health and 2 defense. That's just insane. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so let's go ahead and read the other half. Dreadwind. In alt mode, he has 2 attack, 12 health, 3 defense, pierce 2. They're both 8 costs, I don't know if I mentioned that, and planes as well. They're also classified as Dreadwings, even though there's no cards that specifically mention it that way. I just thought that was interesting to note. In bot mode, 2 attack, 2 defense, and at the end of the turn, if you have Blackwing in bot mode, it's basically the same thing. You just combine, discard 3. And here he is in Combiner mode. He is a Dreadwing, plain and ranged, and he begins untapped and has all damage, as all combiners do. And he has 2 weapons, 2 armors, and 2 utility slots, which is amazing because it can allow him to do all kinds of fun stuff, which is kind of the whole point of this deck. And of course, you're probably wondering who the other character is, as these only equal up to 16 stars. And naturally, I've been thinking about this pair for a long time, so I put in Dinobot Snarl. Now, Dinobot Snarl has this interesting ability in its alt mode that says when you flip to this mode and have no cards in hand, draw 2 cards. Now, naturally, I was like, well, you're probably not going to have any cards in hand after you've combined. So if you have a rapid conversion to start with, you can get this ability off and have 2 cards in hand after combining. And now that's kind of a specific situation, I know, but when you pull it off, it definitely puts you in a huge advantage in board state. In its alt mode, it has 4 attack, 9 health, and 2 defense. It's a Dinobot melee, 7 stars. And in bot mode, when this attacks, you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. Now, this will probably help a little bit. He's not your main attacker, he's more used for the draw power. But this is an offensive orange deck, so this does come in handy sometimes. Plus, he's got the +1 attack in this mode, so. Alrighty. Now, these do equal 23 stars, 7 plus 16. So you're probably wondering what the other 2 star cards are. Which, in this deck, we are playing 2 Leap of Faiths. Now, Leap of Faith is, in my opinion, the best star card in the game right now. What it does is scrap the top card of your deck, and then you can play that card. Then scrap the next card off the top of your deck, and then you can play that card as well. That basically gives you 2 free cards per turn, and in case you didn't know, you can only play 1 action and 1 upgrade per turn. And this basically kind of breaks that rule, allowing you to play another 2 cards off the top of your deck. And while you may not be getting the best thing, like maybe an improvised shield, it's still useful because, it's an extra card you get to play. Anything helps, Alrighty, let's get to the actions. Alright, so the first action we're playing is a rapid conversion. This probably is the card that makes this deck, pretty much. because being able to get Dreadwing out as soon as possible kind of gives you a major advantage. It also helps with drawing cards with Snarl, which also is another big deal in this kind of deck. So for that reason, we're running 3. Alright, we're also running 3 backup plans, because if you're not going to have very many cards in hand almost the entire game, then you're probably fine with scrapping a lot of cards, and we're going to be running 3 of those. And we'll also be running one surprise attack. This is just in case like you come across this intense blue deck that you can't get past. Just gives you extra Pierce. Alright, so next we're playing 2 Ramming Speed, scrap an enemy upgrade. This card is basically good in every deck, I'd say. Whether it be Ramming Speed or Vaporize, depending on whether you want to use orange or blue pips. But we're running an orange deck, so we're going to run this, because we get rid of enemy force fields, bashing shields, that kind of thing. That's annoying to a orange deck. We're also running 1 emergency maintenance, because A, it's an orange pip, and B, and in the test battles I've seen, if they go first with a heavy attacker and they manage to kill Blackwing immediately off the bat, this kind of helps heal off a little bit more damage. And sometimes they also killed Snarl because he's got 9 health. But you know, it's just kind of useful in my opinion. We are also running 3 Supercharge. Now this card gives one of your characters Bolt 3, which is automatically a really strong card on its own, but we're running a lot of orange pips, so this is going to basically give whoever you play it with a ton of attack. We're also playing 1 Treasure Hunt because, of course, Dreadwing has 6 armor slots, so you know you're going to need to get as many upgrades as you can. And I think I made the mistake in opting to run more upgrades, or no actions than upgrades. I meant for this to be more upgrade heavy deck, but just the way I play, I think I like more actions in it, and this kind of just helps you get more of those upgrades that you're looking for. We also play 1 copy of Scrounge. This is just another one of those ways that you can get upgrades onto your character. It's really easy, like Scoundrel Blaster, Force Field, that kind of thing. And it's got a green pip, so it's pretty accessible. We're also running 1 copy of Peace Through Tyranny. Basically, what it does is you can KO one of your characters that's 6-star or more, and then take an extra turn. You'll probably never play this card in this deck. I don't know why you would. It's just used for the orange pips and not really much more. We're also playing 1 copy of Heavy Handed. This is a really good card in regards to the fact that Dreadwing is 16 stars, and while it's attacking a character with fewer stars, he has Pierce 4 and +2 attack. And I just see that as super useful when using something with as many stars as Dreadwing does. And we got 1 more action, which is Attack Research, because we'll be playing some superior cards, which I will go and mention in just one moment. But I think that's all the actions we're playing. On to the upgrades. So our first couple of weapons are 2 superior cannons. I really like these superior cards. I didn't really like them too much at first because I was like, oh, it just seems unlikely that you're going to have both in your hand at one time, and it just didn't seem to happen very often in my mind. But as I started playing with these cards, it happens more often than you'd think. And being able to get Bolt 4 in an orange heavy deck like this, it's so beneficial. Alright, our next weapon is Scoundrel Blaster. Put on Decepticons only, while the upgraded character is attacking an Autobot, it has Pierce 2. This is super useful because A, Dreadwing can have 2 of them, and I'm running 2, and it's just a good card. It's blue pip, which doesn't really help to your orange, but sometimes it does come up in defense that matters, and it's also green pip, so that helps a lot as well. And then when attacking Autobots, gets Pierce 2, helps against Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend, Superion's going around, Optimus Maximus is going around. It's just useful in that regard. We're also running 2 flamethrowers. It's just a weapon that gives pull 2. Pretty simple. Kind of self-explanatory in just that it boosts attack by letting you flip more cards. We're also running 1 copy of Erratic Lightning. Now this card I was definitely skeptical about at first, mainly because it took down your defense, but as I've kind of found out over time, it doesn't matter on Blackwing because he's got 0 defense anyway. So if you come into a situation where you can't combine, you can just throw this on a Blackwing and have base 8 attack on an 8 cost. And, you know, it's got an orange pip as well, and I just see that as really good as just a one-of in a deck like this. Alright, and the last weapon we're playing is Power Punch. Bold 3, and then scrap this card after the upgraded character has attacked. Now, again, this is just a way to boost your attack. It's just a one-time thing, unfortunately, but I found it worthy to just play 1 copy. On to the armors. The first armor I decided to play was Cooling Vent. When you put this on a ranged character, aka Dreadwing, repair 1 damage from it. Plus it gives +1 armor and is an orange pip. I feel like all of those kind of help out in regards to what Dreadwing's goal is. Plus you can have 2 of them on at a time, and that really helps. It doesn't, you can't put it on a Snarl because he's not ranged in any form, but it's definitely useful whenever you have a heavily damaged Dreadwing and need to get some damage removed. The next armor I opted to play was Bashing Shield. I only decided to play 1. I probably should replace 1 Cooling Vent with a Bashing Shield now that I think about it. But it's used to get rid of pesky enemy armors, like, again, Cooling Vents, Force Fields, other Bashing Shields, that kind of thing. Plus it's an orange-green pip. Both of those are extremely useful to have on a card, and it gives you +1 defense. So. We also decided to play 2 Force Fields because, you know, Force Field's probably the best armor in the entire game right now. It says if the upgraded character would take 5 or more attack damage and scrap this card, and the upgraded character takes 4 attack damage. So basically what it's saying, if that confused you a little bit, is saying that, let's say Optimus Prime goes to hit you for 8 damage, right? You have a Force Field on you, right? You'll scrap Force Field, and instead of taking the 8 damage, you will take 4. That's what that means. And Improvised Shield, we decided to run 3 because double orange pip. Now you'll probably never play it for its effect, tough 1, that's pretty useless, honestly. Like, there are so many cards that do better than that, whether it be reinforced plating or something else. But these double orange pips help so much when you're attacking, and for that reason we decided to run 3. On to the utilities. Last but not least, we have our utilities. We are running 1 Spare Parts. This is sort of just a gimmicky card that I decided was worthy to be played in my Dreadwing deck. Basically, if one of your character's upgrades would be scrapped, you can scrap this instead. So let's say theoretically your Noble Blaster, let's use Force Field. Let's say your Force Field would be scrapped due to a ramming speed. Instead of discarding it, you would discard the Spare Parts. And I definitely saw that as useful, as you can put a ton of upgrades onto Dreadwing, and you don't want to be removed after all your hard work. The next upgrade card I decided to play were 2 Datapads. Datapad is a really good card for offensive decks like this, as if you happen to draw into a Improvised Shield, you can just put it back on top of your deck because it's useless in your hand, and automatically give your characters +2 attack with the orange pips. And for that reason I decided to run 2. Plus, if you didn't even want to put anything on top, it's still a free card to your hand. So. And the last card of the deck we decided to play was Aerial Recon. This is a recent addition to the deck. I only put it in just before recording this, but put on planes only. When the upgraded character attacks or defends, you can look at the top card of your deck and then scrap it, plus it gives them 1 defense. I saw this as a good card to play because sometimes you'll want to hit really hard and you'll just so happen to have like a heavy-handed or a Scoundrel Blaster on top of your deck, and you want to get rid of those so that you can deal as much damage as possible. And there's also an orange pip, so that helps towards the damage output of the deck. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that was my deck list. What did you guys think of it? I'd like to know in the comments below what you think I should put into the deck and what I should take out. Because it definitely isn't a perfect deck. I haven't been playing it for too long. But I hope to make this a really good deck in the future and maybe change out some things to achieve that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to whack that like and subscribe button, and have a phenomenal day. Peace.